Hello all you Conan Exile fans out there, it's Granny Gamester here with another beginner's guide to Conan Exiles. Now I am playing on the PlayStation 4 single player, and in this guide we're going to talk about the best early game pets to get. Yes, and these are going to be your greater pets. And in order to get those, we need to start out in our feats and get our animal pen. So you want to scroll over to feats, scrolled over to survivalist, and then down to thrall taker, and there you will find your animal pens. Now this very first one you can do at level 13, and as you can see on the right hand side, it teaches you animal pen, feed box, small animal pen, and then an assortment of shade spiced foods. Now the shade spice food is so that you will get a better chance of getting a greater animal, but you can't get the shade spiced until later on in the game because you need shade bloom to do that. So you can also get graders though. Your chance is less, but you can still get graders in the basic animal pen, and I'm going to show you how to do that. But I also want to talk about the difference between these three sizes of animal pens, and they're all the same size, but they call them differently. This one is a reinforced animal pen, and then you have the armored animal pen. Now the real difference between these is actually the speed time that it takes for the animals to grow up. The armored pen takes the shortest amount of time for your babies to grow up. And it also has more storage slots, inventory slots. Your first pen has 30 slots, your second one has 40, and then the last one has 50 slots, which is great for storage. If you need room for storage, I'd go ahead and go with the big pen. But let's go take a look at these pens just so you can see just how big they are. So as you can see, they're quite large, yes. This is the 5 animal pen. You can actually grow up 5 babies at once. And this takes approximately an 8 by 10 foundation to place this on. You can place it on the ground like I have here, but you need a pretty big flat area to do that in for it to look halfway decent. And it can be difficult to get a big enough space to put these in. It depends on where you build your base. So for that, you have this smaller option, but this option only grows 1 baby at a time, but it is much smaller and easy to place in a smaller base. So yeah, so what we're going to go after here is the greater shaleback, which I think is a fabulous pet in the very beginning. Yeah, because he is not only is he a brute, but yeah, he starts out with pretty good stats. But let me show you how to get him. And then of course there is the greater hyena. So let's go over to our large pen here. Now I've already put 5 babies in here, and I fed them. In order to get a greater, you need to feed them these savory shellfish, which looks like a crab. And you can also give them the exotic shellfish, which looks like a lobster, but I have better luck with the crab. So I will put the crab in there. As you can see, my babies are all grown up. And I have a purple shaleback, I have a greater shaleback, and I have 3 of your basic green ones. Now, it took me probably 30 shalebacks in order to get this. Yeah, because your chance of getting a greater by feeding them these shellfish is only 10%. But shalebacks are so easy to get. And if you have this 5 animal pen, that's only like 4 tries of filling the pen up, and you'll get a greater out of it. So I'm going to pop these out, and I'm going to show you how to actually place your babies in there. Now I do have a box right here full of babies ready to go. I have the savory shellfish. So let's just grab all these guys. Open this up. We'll put the babies in just like that. 5 of them. And then we will put in, you have to have at least 1 for each baby, but I'm going to throw in 7. And as you can see, the byproduct is dung, which you can put in your compost pile. But on the right hand side on the bottom, you can see they're growing up. Now I have this set to fast because for this video I want them to grow up relatively fast. It does not happen that fast in the default settings. So in no time at all we'll have a baby. And then over here in the one animal, you can see there's only one slot for a baby, and that's right there. And then we're going to give this little guy something to eat. Now, I did try to get a greater hyena. All right, so all our babies are here. Let's see what we've got. Oh, we've got a purple one, I know for sure. There, we've got another greater right there. I can see him. You can tell by the horns on his head. Now this time, we got the same. We got 3 green ones, 1 purple one, and another greater. Yeah, so awesome. It does not take that long to get the graders, but the hyenas are a different story. Now I did use the small pen for the hyenas, and I think I went through maybe 50 hyenas and could not get a grader with this small pen. So I tried, I put up another big pen and tried to get one. But every once in a while, I would end up with an empty spot. Even though I put a baby in there, when they grew up, the spot was empty. So I suspect that it's bugged maybe. And the graders do not show up even though you get one. It doesn't show up. So you can try that, but I don't know, how much luck you'll have with getting a greater hyena at this point. So we're going to place this shaleback just so you'll see the difference between, this is the rose colored one, and these are the aggressive ones if you come upon them. They're rather pretty. I like these guys, but their health is not, just click on it like this. It's only 458. And if you want him to gain in strength, you go ahead and you feed him. You can see that's his first food source is exotic shellfish, but the very best you can feed him is just plant fiber. That's it. Yeah, and it'll increase his stats. So let's take a look at our greater shaleback here. We're going to look at his stats. Now, as you can see, his health pool is really good. It's 2,350 he starts out with. He's got 2 in strength. He's got 40 plus 14 in his growth chance for strength, and that is because I've fed him plant fiber. He has 3 in agility, 8 in vitality, and 1 in survival. So he's going to start out pretty darn well. Now on the right hand side, you can see that it's grayed out, but he does get perks like a thrall. So at level 10, 15, and level 20, he will get a perk. Yeah. So these guys are pretty ferocious. I mean, they can handle things on their own, and they're a great beginner pet. Before you get a thrall or anything else, they're wonderful. And because they have, the extra slots here, they've got 10 slots, they're great to take with you when you go get your iron ore or whatever material that you're after. They're great for that. Awesome. And then, of course, the greater hyena. Now, let's take a look at him. He only starts out with 1,280, but his pups are usually pretty easy to get. Not as easy as the shalebacks because they are a little ferocious. So, but they're like the second best in my opinion. And if you don't like the looks of the shalebacks, you might want to go after these ferocious little guys. But this one starts out with a strength of 1, an agility of 8, and a vitality of 1, and a survival of 3. Now, his best food splits his perks between agility and strength. So it's 7% extra in his strength and 7% in his agility. Now, I don't know why it does that, but there you have it. Again, he gets perks, the same as the other one. So let's open him up. Now, the very best thing that you could feed this one for strength is, of course, the savory flesh. Now, if I had fed him the abysmal flesh, which you can see is right under the savory flesh, he might have gotten the whole 14% in his strength. So if you want him to gain in vitality, feed him human flesh. Yeah. So again, he is not quite as good as the shaleback, but the shaleback buddy here, because I fed him just the plant fiber, which is in the second row, he did get the complete 14% in his strength. So he will gain in strength, which he actually needs because he's only got 40% growth chance in his strength. And the other two areas, vitality and agility, he's got 76. So he's already doing better in those. So yeah, those are the best pets, I think, early game. Shaleback by far, I would go for the greater. I don't think it's that difficult to get. The babies are easy to grab. They're pretty safe. The green ones won't bother you if unless you get caught stealing their babies. But it's pretty easy peasy. The pen is easy to make. You just need a big space. But yeah, I would start out with those guys and yeah, have fun exploring what you can get with these, with whatever you feed them. So yeah. All right, guys. Well, if you found this helpful, please give me the big old like. And if you'd like to see more, just subscribe. And if you hit that little bell, you'll be notified when I post my next video. And I will post a link to my beginner's guide at the end of this video, so you can check that out. And yeah, so all right, guys. Until next time, GG out.